Hey, there it is. There it is. All right, guys, hit the thumbs up button if you can hear us. Okay, and thanks for joining us today. I'm Davina, and this is my husband Hobart.
Hi.
And we moved to the Philippines 72 days ago. And yeah, so we've just been navigating our life here. We pretty much come on and tell you about the move and how it's been going, our life here in the Philippines. And we packed up. Thank you. All right, cool. Sounds like people can hear us out there, so that's good. Got some thumbs up in the house. Thanks. So we packed up our house and we moved to the Philippines. We've been planning this for about 20 years, really, but 2 years was our start time for the plan, and then we just kind of moved forward from there. I think COVID really catapulted us to make the move, and once we retired from the military, we just basically packed up our whole house and moved back home to my husband's country.
Yeah, that's interesting that you said that. Actually, a lot of people kind of like COVID this, COVID that. COVID has actually allowed us to realize some of the things that are important in life, and part of that is placing family first, right? So during COVID, you couldn't go anywhere, you couldn't go eat restaurants, you couldn't do any of that stuff. So we focused pretty much on ourselves and our family. We ended up buying mountain bikes. We started going to the parks more often. We started going and walking on the beach, and enjoyed some outdoor stuff. We started playing board games, and it kind of made us realize that work is just supposed to be work. You're not supposed to be spending your whole life at work. So as soon as we retired from the military, we decided to move here to Philippines. But it's been an ongoing plan since we were, I don't know, 20 years ago. It's just that we were waiting for the right time, and since we were retired from the military, we decided to come here to Philippines.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's been beautiful. It's been beautiful. I have to say that it's probably one of the best choices we've made for our family.
Definitely.
In recent years.
Good morning, Yu-Gi-Oh! Thanks for joining us.
Hey, Yu-Gi-Oh! What's up, man?
Yeah, we've been having a lot of fun here in the Philippines. We've got to visit a lot of the Philippines that we haven't been able to see before. I mean, we just kind of like drive down the road, and if we see something we want to go stop and check out, we either go and see it or we make a plan to come back to it.
Yeah.
And that's what we did last week. Is like 2 weeks ago, we drove by, we saw some lights in the middle of the night, and we said, "Hey, what is that? You know what? We'll come back another day." And we made the plan. We went the following weekend, and it was a lot of fun. We went and saw like a Christmas. It's like a Christmas thing happening out by Lakeshore, and that was really nice.
Yeah. Just to give you guys an update, I think last time we talked about the chainsaw breaking down, like my uncle's gift, and he brought it to me. He's tried starting it. He said he got it to work, but then he tried starting it here at the house, and I've never worked a chainsaw before, right? So I was like, all right, let me yank on it a few times. It didn't work. So, but before I go to that story, because I have a pretty funny story about that. Just an update on the construction. For those of you guys who have been following us from the very beginning, we have been doing all kinds of construction in the house. Been modernizing the place, sealing up the ceiling to make sure that the AC air does not go outside or doesn't go on the roof or
And the
anything like
bugs,
that. And the
less
bugs,
bugs
yeah.
coming in.
Sealing out the windows, reinstalling new windows and things like that. So so far so good. They're still waiting for the second floor concrete to dry up because it takes, I guess, 18 to 20 days for the slab to dry. So that's done. They came back inside the house. They finished the bathroom. I had to put my tools back on and install the water heater because we were waiting for the electrician to come through, and the electrician never came until like 2 days later. So
yeah, and I was telling my husband, I was like, "Babe, we're gonna have to take cold showers because they already started working on the other restroom."
yeah, the carpenters the carpenters are so fast that I had to do some electrical work, which is fine, which is okay. It's not a problem. It's not an issue because my kids really wanted to take a shower, hot shower.
Yeah, we needed hot showers,
Instead
and
of cold shower.
it came out really nice. You did a really good job, and he put in the like box that does the fan as well.
Yeah, the exhaust fan. So I'm not like useless in that aspect. I'm retired. I'm lazy. You know what I mean? Like I enjoy my retirement now. You know, I'm more focused on spending time with the kids. I'm more focused
Yeah.
on spending time with my wife. Morning coffee, going on walks.
I will
Right.
tell you, the construction does take up a lot of my husband's time. Like I could literally be like, "Hey, let's have lunch." I have to go find him out there on the construction site and pull him in to eat because he is just so busy.
Yeah, that's true. So you know, it's fun out there. It's been 72 days, and like my first week here, I was kind of like awkward trying to speak Ilocano and Tagalog. It was hard, but bantering back and forth with the carpenters every day. You know, these guys are just like they're talking about like what they did last night, or you know how their weekend was, and you know somebody comes in late and they start clowning on him because he was drinking. You know, and it's just fun. It's like guy stuff, right? And these guys are like they're dudes, right? They might not like be into football and sports and stuff like that, but they're into carpentry. They have rough hands. They're into like improving their homes and things like that. So um there's just a banter going back and forth. There's like a young lady, right, that owns a store nearby, and the guys, I'm like, hey, just go back, go to the store, and just ask them like, hey, that you can pull the stuff. I've talked to the store owner already, and you can go there and just grab whatever tools or whatever stuff that you need for the construction. So these guys keep going back, and you know they're like, oh well, you know how's the lady? You know they're like, you know they're okay. They're embellishing a little bit, but you know it's one of those guy things where they get to talk about you know like allow their creativity in their mind kind of ramble on a little bit, but it's all fun and games. You know, they're not doing bad, they're not doing anything, but it's just an ongoing joke. You know, they're like, well, it's my turn to go. You know, it's my turn to go get the supplies. Or they're making fun of the guy. They're like, man, how many times have you gone to the supply store already? Like, why is it? It's my turn. It's my turn. I get to see the pretty girl. So it's awesome. So now, after being here for 72 days, I can spit out words that, you know, like I haven't said in a while because I can hear it. And once you hear it, you understand it. You understand it's like, oh, that's what it is. Like today, I was talking to someone and I was like, dude, how do you say ant? What is an ant? Like, how do you say ant in Ilocano?
Oh, coton.
Yeah, it's coton, which is it's like cotton, but you have to say it like fast, coton. But there's lots of hard words in Ilocano, and the syllables. When you think that the English language has syllables that are like 5, 6, 7, no, the Ilocano language has the kids start learning 5, 6, 7 syllables when they're in 5 years old, 6 years old, 7 years old. Like they're long, right? And they have difficult pronunciations. Like for example, door, right? To say a door in Ilocano is ruangan. Like, you know, that could be a handful, and a lot of those things that I've forgotten, but now I'm remembering things just talking to these guys.
That's
But
nice.
yeah. What about you?
I think when I was in the United States, I lost a lot of my Spanish as well, just because like I was in college and speaking English. So, but I really took the time to read in Spanish. So, for instance, if there was like the textbooks were in English, I would do my best to translate it to Spanish. So I'd be reading the textbook and then I'd be like, okay, how would I read this in Spanish, or how do I reword the words? So I tried to keep my Spanish as much as possible, but when you live in the United States and you're not talking to people in Spanish every day, you can definitely lose it. And so I always take advantage of every opportunity I have to speak Spanish.
Yeah.
And I think in the Philippines, like actually in America, like you didn't get to speak Ilocano or Tagalog too often.
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, we spoke
Only
Ilocano
with the
Tagalog,
family.
yeah, with the family. But then, my mom and dad spoke Ilocano and all the time, right? But my siblings and I, like once the house became an English spoken language, that's all we spoke was English. And
Mm.
so it's kind of, I had a cousin, his name is and then his grandma was so awesome, right? She would like go out of her way to teach her and talk to him, teach him and talk to him in Ilocano. And this guy, till this day, he has a like a thick accent, you know, like. But it's good though, because he is he knows you can't sell him. I think he was born and raised in the U.S., but because of his grandparents, they taught him how to speak Ilocano, and his wife is also Ilocano.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's like when you can find someone in your like who speaks the same language as you as your partner, and then you guys have like this special language that nobody else understands.
Yeah.
And I always wish like that I could speak to my husband either in Ilocano or in Spanish, and like we could be in line and we can be talking, and then nobody knows what we're saying, but we don't have that commonality, so it makes it hard, but that's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty much it on the construction side. So what else happened? So this chainsaw, right? So, all right, my uncle's been asking for a chainsaw, right? I'm like, hey, uncle, I need to cut that tree. He's like, oh man, let me go borrow a chainsaw. And then he brought a chainsaw, and the chainsaw broke, and then he had to take it back. He brought it back again, whatever. Right? He's just been asking for a chainsaw. He's like, I had a chainsaw before. My brother or somebody bought it for me, and it broke. It was getting repaired, and all of a sudden it's gone. Right? Somebody else has it. And I said, so I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy him a chainsaw. So last weekend, I got him a chainsaw. It was it was last Saturday. We were looking around for a cement mixer, and you know, they were selling a chainsaw right there and then. So I was like, oh, all right, sounds good. I bought it, right? So if you buy anything here in Philippines, they put it together, they put the chain on, they put the cover on it, you know what I mean? They put the oil and the fuel and all that fuel mixture. If you don't know,
make sure it works.
Right? Fuel mixture, it's like one part oil per 20 or 25 parts fuel. And so there, it has to be very critical, and I'm glad they turned it on for me. It works. They're like, you know, so good. I took it to my uncle. He got it to start it like one time. He started cutting trees, and then all of a sudden it wouldn't work anymore. So he came back and he's like, hey, it doesn't work. I was like, Uncle, what do you mean it doesn't work? They started at the shop. You said you started it. He's like, I don't know, man. It doesn't work. You try it. So here I am yanking on this chain. I'm like, I don't know. And so here we are, right? He's like, look, this is the choke. You're supposed to start this on, and blah 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 blah. I said, okay, all right, sounds good. That's great. So I'm like, I'm convinced. Like I was like, you know what? I believe my uncle, and you know, I'm gonna take this back. So we made a trip.
And I looked everywhere for the receipt. Okay, and I know in Philippines, if you don't have your receipt, you're dead out of water.
Yeah,
like you're fish dead out of water.
True.
And so I was looking everywhere for the receipt. I could not find it. And then Hoper's like, I know I gave you the receipt. And I'm like, yeah, I know you gave me the receipt, but I must have thrown it away or something. And so that was a little frustrating because we're driving 2 hours to go take this thing. And I was just like, we're going to be stuck with a broken chainsaw.
I was like, dang. So we're having a conversation. We're like, we're going to have to buy another chainsaw because I can't have my uncle not have a chainsaw after I gave him one, right? So this is his birthday gift. And yesterday was his birthday. So I was like, if we don't go there today, this was yesterday, we're gonna have to eat it because you know the warranty is only 7 days.
Yeah,
you can
7 days.
You can do all that stuff. So yesterday was the 7th day.
In the Philippines, 7 days.
It just so happened that we bought it in Pampanga, right, near Clark.
2 hours away.
2 hours away. So we're like, all right, guys, with construction happening here at the house, we all went all the way to Pampanga, right? We loaded everything up. I told the guys, I was like, hey guys, I gotta go. I gotta take this to the shop. So you know, we made a day out of it. It's beautiful. We're just driving around, and I get there, right? This place was busy. When I bought the chainsaw, this place was like it's ghost town. Right?
But I think it was because it was pouring when we stopped at that place too, though. Before
it was sunny when we got there, and it was busy. There was probably like 10 different people in line waiting to purchase their items and waiting to talk to someone. And here I am with this chainsaw in a box, right? And I'm like, I'm thinking, what excuse am I gonna say? You know, like, is it the spark plug? Is it whatever? So I told him, I was like, looking around, you know, the technician 10 minutes to get to me. And he's like, what's wrong with it? And I'm like, it won't start. It won't start. My uncle tried it. He couldn't get it on, turn it on. And I tried it and I couldn't get it on, right? And so because I'm speaking English, now the whole store is looking at us and our conversation, right?
Oh yeah.
Because this guy was having a hard time. I was explaining to him in English, right? And I was like, hey, this is this and this, da 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 da. And he's like, okay, yeah. He had a hard time understanding my English. And so I think somebody else was like, oh, he's trying to say this, like it's broken. And then he's like, oh, okay. So now everyone, the whole store is looking at us, all the shoppers, the technicians, the salespeople. And here it is, right? We're in the middle of the store and he takes it out, right? He's like, all right, well, let's check it out, right? He's like, well, what, did you do anything else to it? No, I didn't do anything else to it. But we did, right? My uncle added another like fuel mixture and oil. He filled it up all the way to the brim. But I was like, I don't do nothing to it because I want it to be like under warranty, right? If he's like, you guys did something to it, no, that's your fault. I want it to be like, let's get it replaced. So here it is, right? This guy like checks things out, like turns it on, and like he's like, all right, sounds good. Rips the cord. I'm like, no, dude. I'm like so embarrassed. I start, as dark as I am, I'm turning red, right? I'm like, I felt so embarrassed, kind of like taking this thing back, and he's just like, "Oh, look, man, this is how you're doing it." Like,
wait, so how do you turn this thing on?
I recorded it. I have a video of this guy turning it on at the shop, right? This little choke, right? That my uncle and I were pulling on the choke, and then trying to start it. He's like, "No, the choke is supposed to be in." And so
you have to push the choke.
The choke is supposed to be in. So he didn't even do anything. He just flipped the button and just pulled on the thing, and it started. I was like, turn it off. Show me again. He turned it off, right? And then he pulled the cord again, and it started. Right? He didn't have to pull the choke. He didn't have to do anything. Whatever. And so
operator error.
It was operator error on my uncle's part. It was operator on my part. I did not do my due diligence to learn or look on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh my goodness. I could have looked on YouTube, but I decided not to. I was like, you know what? It's under warranty.
We drove 4 hours.
But it's okay.
There, too bad.
It's all right though,
for
because we needed
to
leave the house anyways. We need to leave the house because I need to get more tile. So we left, and then on the way back, it rained really hard.
Yeah.
And which brings up to the next topic, right? But Dee was so upset. She was so mad because there's 2 types of at expressways.
Oh yeah.
There is the NLEX or whatever, and then there's the
Easy Sweep or something.
Oh wow, look at that! Like, thumbs up, guys.
Everybody, go in there, give us a thumbs up. All
so
right?
There's an Easy Sweep.
Like and subscribe.
There's an Easy Sweep, and then there's an RFID.
And he's talking about the tolls. Okay, you go through these tolls to drive from city to city. You gotta pay money to go fast. So, anyways, we have the RFI or the ETC for the Easy Sweep. We've had it for months at this point. And here's the thing: we went through the Easy Sweep toll, and they were like, "Where's your ticket?" And we're like, "We don't have a ticket because every time we go through a toll, it automatically reads our bumper, and it doesn't charge us. Like it takes it off the balance, right, electronically." So when we showed up to this Easy Sweep toll, which should have been, it's a T-Plex, okay? It should just take in some money off of our account. But the lady said that we were in the cash line, so she wanted a ticket, and she charged, because we didn't have a ticket, she charged us the full amount for a lost ticket.
Yeah.
But there's no reason for us to get a lost ticket because we have one, the RFI, on the front of our vehicle. So I was very upset, and I was like, that was wrong.
So usually it would cost only like $70 when we're
70
at this,
peso.
Yeah, 70 peso when we get to this point. This lady charges like 311 peso. And Dee was like, "What? No!" And she's like, no, don't pay that. Let's back up." So,
Yeah.
but the thing is, when you're in a toll booth and there's like 5 people behind you, you can't really back up.
I you know what? I would have been like, no, we're backing up, and I'll start honking, moving backwards, and I would have made a stink about it, and they should have just like charged me like normal or given us, taken the card and read it, whatever they had to do, find a solution because they basically ripped us off, and I was not happy with that. I'm not happy about it now.
So, ETC or ECT or whatever it is, right? I just want to let you guys know that when you get the RFID installed, right, versus the cash, they'll charge you more on the cash line because the RFID tracks where you're at when you're going entry and exit point on these expressways. But the cash line, right, if you forget a receipt or the machine runs out of a receipt, these guys will charge you up the wazoo for not having your stuff. And then the thing is, also, if you are unfamiliar with the routes, they'll ask you, "You don't have a ticket? Where did you come from?" I was like, "I don't know. I came from over there, that exit, Manila." So they'll charge you all the way from Manila, which is like 500 peso. And so just be cautious of that, right? Understand that the cash line is you're getting ripped off. Okay, so if you're here in Philippines and you're saying that, hey, the RFID, blah blah blah, you're getting ripped off.
Get the RFID and go in the proper lane, because if you try going in the shorter lane, you're gonna have to pay more.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, that's not cool at all.
Yeah, you are. And so the thing is like, does the information that you put on there have to be 100% accurate? No, they just want something on a piece of paper so they can give you this RFID. You can there it is again. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's going on. But once you have the RFID, you can lose the RFID again and get a new one. So it doesn't even matter. Like,
yeah, and it doesn't transfer from car to car.
It doesn't.
It stays with the car. So you need to, and it don't lose your card. And then it's just there's a lot of mumbo jumbo with it.
Yeah, and so if you lose the card though, you can always get a new one. So it's like a rechargeable credit card.
So basically. we have been in search for the RFID. One, the NLEX. The NLEX, we have been trying to find a point where they put it on for you. And I'm telling you, like, we have gone to every toll and we've asked them, like, hey, where can we get this? Where can we get this? Where can we get this? And we finally found one yesterday. And we waited in line for like 2 hours to get through these tolls because that's what it is out
there was
here.
an accident.
It was an accident.
There was an accident right up front where the tolls were. And
so we finally get to the front. We go, like, we're ready to put some money on this toll because we're not trying to like stop and get stop all the time. He gets it put on and I'm thinking he's putting in a good deposit. He gets in the car, he's like, I only put 500. I'm like, why did you only put 500 peso? 500 peso is like what, $10?
Yeah, it's the minimum. It's like the it's still no. It's just to get the things installed, and you're supposed to go to a 7-Eleven and load up your stuff.
So now we have to go to a 7-Eleven to load it up.
So this is the RFID one, or this is
the NLEX.
So NLEX is not efficient at all.
I would
Easy Sweep, efficient.
More efficient, Easy Sweep, but Easy Sweep's the one that ripped us off.
Yeah.
I will say that like the whole like toll situation, it's a little cumbersome. It's just a little bit much.
But don't be afraid of it. If you have a vehicle, don't be afraid of it, because I'll tell you, to get from where we're at, like Tayog, all the way to Manila is only like not 4 hours anymore.
It's like $20, but
it's like 2 hours.
I mean, you gotta have ends to just try to go to drive. Like it is a privilege to drive around here. And then just to like try to go from location to location, it gets very expensive, and I don't know. I just feel like it's a little overpriced. Like how are Filipinos paying this much money to go, like, to travel? It's very expensive, So anyways, I'm so mad about that.
Yeah, she's still mad about it. I was like, oh, can you calm down now? She's like, no, I'm so mad. And I was like, I'm going to go back so you can, talk to the lady. No, that doesn't help. And so, okay, all right. So what can I do at this point? I was just on the receiving end. I was like, oh. Okay.
Yeah, no, it was not cool.
Yeah,
not cool.
You're right. Not cool. I don't want to be on the receiving end. Okay, so after that, right, we were so like, we were supposed to go to this party at 5 o'clock, but it was raining so hard. Everything just was not working out. Everything was just not working out, right? But finally, we get to the birthday party, right? We present my uncle with his gift, and because they had like two parties, right? It was my niece.
Yeah, combo celebration.
My niece's birthday party and my uncle's birthday party.
Yeah, we showed up with some presents for our niece. She turned 3.
She's 3 years old now.
Oh, it says your facial hair is getting bigger.
Yeah, I know, man. Look at it.
You should see his ponytail. His ponytail
like a little pony back here.
Yeah, it's getting very long.
How's that?
Yeah. Yeah. So we showed up to the party, and it was cool. Like the food was amazing.
Oh, it was so good. That's so much food.
Talk about break your diet.
Yeah, it was the only thing that wasn't homemade was a cake,
mm-hmm.
and they had all kinds of desserts. They had so many food with sabao. Oh, they had it was great. They had lumpia.
They had it all.
They had spaghetti. They had pancit. They had. What's the one with it?
We had some tinola.
Tinola with the paria. It was so tasty. And so thanks to my cousin for
and some barbecue.
Us.
There's even barbecue.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There was barbecue. And so that was good.
The food was amazing.
Yeah, and they had karaoke going on. You know, coming here to the Philippines and going to that party yesterday made me realize that family is really important here.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is. And I really appreciate the fact that my kids kind of get to enjoy that. You know, I enjoyed it when I was younger, but you don't see that in the United States. It's unfortunate that, there's not, when gatherings happen in the US, your entire family doesn't show up, because you're so distant from they are. So if you moved away, you're like, okay, well, I'm just going to invite my kids' friends. But here, the whole town pretty much shows up.
Especially if you live far away from your family for work or whatever.
And the thing is, what's interesting is it's politics. It's politician. Like, what is it? They're the
election week.
Yeah, it's election week. And a few of the politicians came through the party who were running for the barangay office, and it was beautiful, right? I mean, like, at its core, like, here it is in the United States, everybody has their own agenda. They're talking about it on TV. You can hear it in the radio, but here it's like they go up to every neighborhood and they say, hey, I'd like you to vote for me, and these are the ideas that I'm gonna have, right? And so I saw that at the party. They were just kind of like having a conversation, and it was awesome. It was great. I thought it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, somebody was enjoying the karaoke.
Oh yeah, you know me. Okay, so
hey, but you had the competition though. You had competition.
Oh yes, I had some major competition, and they were way better than me. I'll just tell you right now. She could sing.
Oh yeah. Okay? So usually, if you do karaoke, we hang out with our friends. Dee usually is like the best singer in the bunch. You know what I mean?
Not last night.
Not last night. No.
I was beat out by a lady. She was good. I swear she got them chops.
Yeah, she was very good.
But what I was gonna say is, so I'm a foreigner at this party. I'm the only foreigner there, and so I go in, I eat the food. Not like I'm used to Filipino food, so nothing scares me. I can eat it all. I'm like, yum, all of it. It's delicious. Then after I'm done, eating, then I straight up go to the karaoke machine and start singing, because it's not like I'm going to sit around and talk with anybody, because I don't know what they're saying. So I'm just like, I'm going to sing karaoke. So then I stood at the karaoke machine for like an hour. Yeah, just enjoying myself, just singing everything.
Yeah, that was fun. That was awesome. So the drinking here is different from the United States. In the United States, you go to a bar. You're at a party. Usually, it's at a venue. You go to a bar and you buy your own drink. Or if the drinks if there's an open tab, you just go up there and get your drinks. Here,
in the
province, there is like a whole bunch of guys, right? And it's interesting, the drinking culture here. It's at that party. It was just a whole bunch of men. Now, there's
It's
probably like
drinking culture
the drinking
Filipinos.
So
Okay,
there's like between 10 to
different
15.
if you're a foreigner.
10 to 15 men probably just surrounded, and my uncle's like, hey, come over here, let me introduce you to these guys, right? So here I am, like, oh, you're my cousin. I was like, oh, how are we related? They're like, oh, okay, well, your grandma and my grandpa were brothers and sisters, and my father was, and I was like, oh, okay, so we're second cousins. That's
so we
cool.
really are cousins.
We really are cousins. I was like, oh, what's your last name? And they start telling me their last names, and I'm like, man, it's interesting. That is crazy. But here's the culture here, right? The drinking culture. So they pass around a shot glass. If you're there drinking liquor, it's usually I think Ginebra or something like that, like 4x4 or 2x2. It's just basically a bottle, and they're passing around, but they have a shot glass that comes with it. So they pass the bottle and a shot glass to take a swig, and that's it. They're just going around in circles, right? And in the middle of it, like there's the food. It's called pulutan that they're eating. So you take a shot and then you follow it up with food, right? In the U.S., you don't do that. Like if you drink tequila, you drink tequila and you put some salt in it, some lime, you're good to go. If you drink like Jack Daniels, it's just like straight shot.
You do peanuts or something.
Yeah, whiskey. Yeah, it's just straight up.
Everybody drinks straight liquor.
Yeah, but here it's food. Like they have barbecue. They're eating barbecue in the middle, and it's great. It's awesome. But they were like, "Hey, it's your turn. You're gonna go." I was like, "No. I'm sorry. I don't drink. Like another person comes out when I drink, so I've decided that I'm not gonna drink. It's just like it's not good for me. It's not beautiful. I'm not a beautiful drunk. I'm not gonna do that. And the thing is, it's a family event. I'm not gonna do that to my wife and my kids. I don't want my kids to see me like that. It's just I don't do that. So but for me to get out of it, I was like, hey guys, I gotta go park the car. But hey, how about this? You guys enjoy your night. I'm gonna buy you guys a couple of rounds, right? So my cousin, she owned a store like on the property, and I was like, hey cousin, here's some cash. Why don't you let these guys drink? Until this is done. And so I said, but if they started getting on their case, you just cut them off, and then the remaining is yours. And so I'm glad we left because, I guess there's more people that came, and I'm learning now that I guess my uncle was fell last night, and this guy, he's still strong. Like he'll pick up a chainsaw and he'll climb a ladder and do those things, but he's in his 60s. Okay, this guy's in his 60s, like late 60s, and so I'm like, oh man, maybe that was my fault. He's like, so my cousin, so I feel guilty about it. So my cousin's like, yeah, my dad had a little bit too much last night and he was falling over. I was like, oh man. He's like, he had so many guests come over that they kept calling him over, and it was his birthday and blah blah blah. I was like, oh man, I feel bad.
Sounds like a typical birthday party in the U.S. I'm telling you right now.
Yeah.
Like I know that when we were younger, we would go and spend time with our friends, and be having a nice night with all our friends.
Yeah, somebody's house, but no, this was a house party.
I think this is similar. I think it's similar where you got a family and they're all drinking.
The whole town came.
The whole town.
It was pretty. It was a lot. I was like, oh gosh, this is a lot of people, but it's cool. Like you have house party at your house. You might have 20 people. No, this one was a lot. There was a lot of people.
There was a lot of people there, but there was a lot of food, and it was very nice. It was a lot of fun.
So that was the guys. So the guys had the men had a circle where they were drinking, but no women.
No, the girls didn't drink at all. The girls didn't partake at all.
Yeah, the women were not drinking. They weren't a part of the circle. They had their own circle. So I don't know. What's your take on that?
The ladies were all just sitting there hanging out by the food, and they just kind of like clean and make sure that everybody's having a good time, but no, the ladies did not get involved. The ladies don't hang out
Yeah,
with the
the
guys.
ladies were with the kids.
Yeah.
And they were just hanging out with themselves. I mean, don't get me wrong, they were pretty loud over there too on their side. It's just that they didn't have alcohol. The guys were not as loud as the ladies, but they were drinking alcohol. You know, they were like, "Oh, this is this and that. Do you know this person? Do you remember that person?" So it was great to catch up. Yeah, it was great to catch up.
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. I don't know what anybody was saying, but I just hung out. And there was a bunch of people singing karaoke last night, so that was pretty cool. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun.
And so after we left the party, I was like, ooh, I better get out of here before they drag me to start taking shots or whatever. Right, so we left and came back home. And then there was a politicians debate at the plaza. All right, so I was like, hey, D, let's go check this out. You know what I mean? I want to see what these guys are talking about. And it was awesome, right? Because I told you a little bit about it, how like the people who are running for office, they go from house to house. And here in the barangay that we are in, they in the plaza, they were having like a discussion, like a debate. And it was awesome to see that. I wish I could have stayed there longer. Actually, many of my
probably would have stayed longer.
Would have stayed longer. Actually, many of my family is running for office, which is interesting.
It's so funny.
Which is interesting, you know.
Because we'll be sitting here and I can hear the construction workers singing the little chants that are going on in the motorcade. And they'll say his cousin's name, and I'll be like, "Oh my god, that's hilarious!"
Yeah.
They just said his name. It's because they're singing the little jingle, the little song they're making you memorize people's names and stuff. And so it's funny because I'm hearing them sing, and they're saying your cousin's name.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you teach your kids "Twinkle Twinkle Little Star" because of the rhyme and because it's a hook. Right, these guys have made it so well. My cousin has made his hook so well that the Carpenters are singing it. So it's good. It's good, right? So shout out to my cousin. I'm not gonna say the name. I'm just saying, you know who I'm talking about. Just like, hey, it's a good hook.
They're saying your name. Yeah, it's funny.
Okay, so we would have stayed there at the debate longer, but unfortunately, it started having lightning and the lights went out.
We had a blackout.
Last
night there was a blackout, and we were wondering like how everything was okay at our house, and so we wanted to make sure everything was good. We came to check it out. Everything was fine, but then we called it a night.
Yeah,
you know?
We did. We called it a night.
Time to call it.
It was nice. We spent time with the kids. We kind of like just laid around, doing stories and watching TV shows. And,
family night.
Family night. So it was good because yesterday too was a Friday, and the kids got an opportunity to get out of school early because they had a quarterly exam or something like that. So we've spent all day together.
Oh yeah, and then this whole week there's no school because of the elections. So, and because the elections are actually they're gonna have the voting at the school. So the school has to be cleared out of any kids, and from what I understand is it's going to get like really busy this time of year. Like it gets super, super busy. Well, there's nobody in school, and then all of a sudden like there's all these elections. This week they're having this big food bazaar, so we're going to make sure we hit that food bazaar. We'll make some videos.
I wonder if that's happening in every town.
I don't know, but I'm sure that there's stuff happening in different towns, you know, because like
it's a burn month.
It is. It's a lot of fun. Like we went to somewhere where the lake shore is happening all the way until January 1st. And from what I understand is that the food bazaar is supposed to happen
until
all
December,
throughout. Yeah, throughout December. So now we're going to be able to go and taste different foods and stuff. And it's pretty exciting. It's fun. We're enjoying the Philippines. The Filipino province is really nice for us. You know, and we're not the kind of people to just kind of like stay home and just kind of like let days pass by. We want to explore. We are exploring, and we are experiencing whatever it is that the Philippines has. I think there's a child.
You want to talk about
a parent?
Yeah.
Okay. So Hobart's gonna step out really quick and address something, but I've got. It sounds like Hero's crying about something. Okay, so the budget. Wanted to go over our budget really quickly and tell you guys how things have been going with our spending. So after the initial like startup fees and startup fund of like we spent about $12,000 with the move. So after that, USD, ever since we've paid everything off and kind of like started living day to day Filipino lifestyle, it has gone down tremendously, like by thousands. We are no longer spending that much money anymore. We also don't have any like major income coming in, so we have to make sure we're not spending more than we make. But the internet this month, it costs 2,800. We do have PLDT, so 2,800 peso. So you're looking at I don't know how to do the math so quickly in my head, but 2,800 peso is what we spent on, or so 2,800 on the internet. Electricity this month, it went down from last month. So last month it was 13,000 peso, and this month it was 11,500 peso. I don't know what to attribute the decrease in our electricity, because we're doing construction. We're doing construction daily, so I know we're using a lot of electricity. We keep at least 3 AC units on full time. But our AC units are no longer the window units, so they're the split con, and that's the only thing that I can attribute us to spending less on, because that's the big change. It was the AC when we switched over to from window unit to the split con. I think that's where we saved the money. Our water bill the prior month was 2,100, which is 2,100 peso, and this month it was 2,800 peso. So it did go up by a little bit, but not much. And then everything else, like as far as food, we're not really spending any money on clothing, but we have gone to the Nike store. I mean, we did a full on like shopping spree at the Nike store, didn't spend more than 300 US dollars. And I mean, we were walking out with a lot of nice clothes. And then we've done some Costco runs, which is SNR membership here in the Philippines. Our first Costco run was the most expensive, but that was during our initial push, like our startup fees. I would have to say that that was part of the startup costs. And ever since we've gone to SNR since, we have not spent that at all. It's only been like maybe 300 US dollars when we go, and we don't go anymore very often. We probably only go or need to go like once a month or once every 2 weeks, maybe. Really, once a month is all we need to go.
Yeah.
So if we're doing all of that, we're actually doing okay. I need to figure out what our total cost is, but it's way more affordable than it used to be.
Did you talk about the finances part of it, electric bill and all the
I
bills?
did. I talked about all the bills.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
I'm
right.
gonna add it up really quickly while Hobart finishes telling
All
you, and then
right.
I'll tell you what we're kind of living on.
So, Money Printer said like has a few comments here, and so let's go back. Yu-Gi-Oh is like, yes, my Pinoy accent is definitely gonna get thicker while we're here, but I get to practice with my wife and my kids, so I'm hoping that it's not gonna get that thick, right? Because um, I kind of like not having that thick of an accent, but if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? I'll embrace it. A money printer never stop. Yes, facial hair is growing. And did I eat lumpia last night? No, unfortunately, I was so full. I already had 2 plates of tinola with the paria, and then I made room only for the dessert. And so don't even get me started on the barbecue. So I was like, oh man, this is horrible. This is the worst time to diet. But I was already stuffed by the time I got to the lumpia. And then Money Printer says, your life seems better than the average American life. Ha ha ha. It's too much better than, it's so much better than slow paced. I would say, are we having a better life here than in the United States? It depends on how you look at it, right? Depends on how you look at it. The United States, on a weekend, we can go to Disneyland, Knott's Berry Farm. We can go to Santa Cruz Boardwalk. We can go to
Bike riding.
bike
We went to all
riding.
kinds of-
We can do all kinds of stuff, right? So we were familiar with that already. But the thing is, like in the middle of the week, that's on a weekend. In the middle of the week, it was like go, go, go. Wake up at 5, get the kids ready. Maybe go to the gym. and then get the kids to school, get to work, take a lunch break but not see your kids, pick up the kids from school, take them to the after school program, and then make dinner, wash the dishes, clean the house, and then tuck the kids bed to sleep. And there wasn't really a lot of quality time. I would say there's not a lot of family quality time, and I think that was lacking in the United States because for
We
me and her, we
weren't.
were so focused. Now you have to understand that the military does things to you, and one of those things is it makes you look at things very, very critically. And in terms of finances, what we wanted to do was kind of get ahead. We wanted to complete that mission. We were so ambitious that we had like multiple jobs happening at the same time. So we were go, 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 always on the go, being part of the matrix or the rat race or whatever you want to call it, right? And we wanted to kind of slow it down. And our life here in Philippines is not necessarily slow by any means because we have so much stuff happening with construction and visiting family and getting the kids ready for school. But it is definitely a lot more spending time with family. The quality time that I spend here with my wife is not necessarily fine wine and dine, but it is going on walks, watching the stars, watching the sunset. The time that I spend with my kids is not sitting there and having them enjoy their after school program in jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai and gymnastics. Their after school program is me telling them a story. It's me, asking them how their day is in school. It's me picking them up at lunchtime, and Dee gets an opportunity to cook them a meal. Or we go pick up food, but we enjoy them more. It's amazing how their growth in the language and their growth in the culture is progressing really, really fast, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
I really have no say no back.
They just took their exams. Bless you. They
Excuse me.
just took their exams, and I asked them like, "Hey, how'd your exams go?" They said, "Flying colors. It went great." And so it was really cool to see how like confident they were. They said that they did get a little bit of translation help from their teachers, but all their tests were in Ilocano or Tagalog. And I was like, "Were they in English?" They're like, "No."
They're all a different language.
And I thought that was pretty cool how they got out of school and they were so confident that they did great on the tests. And they were getting good scores. Some of the scores weren't that high, like some of them, but at least it was like 50%. And I'd have to say for someone who just got to the country and doesn't speak Ilocano or Tagalog, they're doing pretty well for having gotten 50% of it right, know? And, no, you go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was thinking of something else.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, they were. I mean, they came out of school like super happy, and they were like, yeah, no, we did fine.
Our kids' behavior too is a lot better. They're more kind of like chill.
No, they are more
they're
chill.
They're not fighting with each other. They're learning how to share with each other.
They do miss jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
They miss jiu-jitsu. And, they keep talking about how they want to get mats and start practicing on the floor just with themselves.
Yeah, I do. I do have background in jiu-jitsu, and I can teach them some stuff. But just they're too small for me like to grapple with. But I guess it doesn't matter. I could just teach them the technique.
Teach them and have them, run around with each other. Yeah, roll around.
Yeah. Oh, did you know? Like I saw a picture of Tony. He's got a black belt now.
Oh, your friend?
Yeah.
That's so cool. Congratulations, Tony.
Him and Anthony.
We have some really good friends from the military that we've known for a long time, and they do workouts.
Yeah, they do workouts. I mean, these guys are like, so when I told her back in the day, when I said, you go to school, I go to the gym, right? These were the guys that kind of got me influenced into like going to and doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, no, these guys
and belting and kind of like focusing. Because these guys, they will not take it easy on you.
No, they fight.
They can whoop you in the butt.
Yes.
So, but now, right, so Anthony and Tony, they're both in the infantry. And so in the military, they start you off as combatives, and then these guys kind of just progress forward. Now these guys are combat veterans. They're infantry. One of them was a sniper, and went to tried out for ranger and things like that. They were in the Ranger Battalion. They were in Fort Benning, They were there in Iraq, and it was just like these guys are like truly.
Cool.
If
Yeah,
I ever
these
have-
guys are cool soldiers.
yeah, they're cool soldiers.
Yeah.
I think so yeah, they're both black belts now, and they do
Real squared away.
they do jujitsu
Yeah.
like competitively,
Mhm.
right? Competitive. I'm surprised though, because Tony
Yeah, they do.
Tony was like came over to my house one day, and I had my certificate for getting like yellow belt or whatever it is, right? And he's like, you're dumb. Why the hell would you be posting that? And now here he is, right? He's like, I got black belt food. So all right, that's cool, man. Mad
We're
props,
proud of
mad
you.
props.
We're
We are
proud
proud
of
of
you.
you, right? Both of you guys, and that's great. And so, Anthony, I if you're watching this, I hope that you are enjoying your time being a father, and enjoy changing those diapers. You know what I mean? Enjoy that time, giving them a bath, and so like.
I know, they're so cute and
Goo goo
cuddly. I
gaga,
miss that now.
cute
I
and cuddly,
totally
yeah.
miss that phase of life now. Like I miss our
do,
kids
I
being
do,
young like
I
that.
do.
Yeah.
So, but you know, when you get to our level and they're able to hit you, yeah, my son kind of hits. So
Yeah. They got that aggression. They need to figure out how to like focus it. And I know they have fun, you know, in jiu-jitsu. They miss it. So
it's great.
Yeah.
It's great. So that's pretty much it.
I was going to tell you guys
Oh,
how
okay.
much the total was. Okay. So if we are doing our total like cost, it cost $1,000 just for utilities, gas, the electric, the water. We don't pay for a house because we live in our family home. So those are all our bills with the did I say
Water, electricity,
cable, or what is this thing called? Internet.
But we have two internet services.
We
have
pay for
USA
two
TV and then
services.
PLDT.
Yeah, because we're
Because
just
USA TV wasn't fast enough for us, so we
No.
went to PLDT, which is
yeah. So it's $1,000 USD. Now I didn't include our construction because construction is not what everybody would even do. You know.
yeah. But at the same time, I would like to outline that because there's construction in the house, they do have construction tools that they plug in the house and they're using. It's 220.
They use a lot of water.
So they use a lot of water. So right now, our utilities might continue to go down as the construction kind of dwindles down because construction is going to slow down.
Mhm.
And also take into consideration, we have 7 AC units in the house. We're not using all 7 of them at the same time, but we probably have like 3 or 4 on simultaneously throughout the house that now we are kind of like, you know, we have to go in one area and another area and another area. So it's good.
Yeah. Yeah, and you've got, and we don't include our outings. So, and we did include food, but we don't, so our outings are going to be totally separate. But I'll tell you what, when we go on an outing, we probably don't spend more than $40.
So we went to that fair and
We went to that Lakeshore Fair. We probably spent less than like $20. $20 for the whole thing.
No. It wasn't 1,000 pesos. So she's saying $20 it's 1,000 pesos. No, it's not. It was probably like $15, right? Which is
USD?
like USD, or equates to 600, 700, 800 peso.
And our kids were going on rides.
Yeah.
They were going on the jumpy house. They did all these different things that we had to pay money for. Just admission was like $4. But we didn't spend much there.
Rides, airsoft, throwing money, getting it into the squares.
Spending the whole time there.
Throwing darts at balloons, shooting at stuff. It was amazing. We had a blast, and it was for 600, 700
Peso.
Right.
Peso.
In the US, you'd probably be in like
You'd spend at least
thousands,
$200 there.
No.
$200.
No.
It would be like
$200 is
like
just some food. If you go to an amusement park in the
Yeah.
United States, which
Yeah.
was kind of like similarly to what we went to,
Yeah.
it'd be in thousands.
It's true. That's true.
Knott's
That's
Berry Farm, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
Six Flags, you go to Disneyland,
Yeah.
thousands. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So did you include, how much food did you include?
I don't know. I think I just did utilities and all that. Okay, I didn't include food, but food is very inexpensive here. Probably spend like $200 a month on food maximum.
Yeah.
And that's with eating out all the time.
That's about $5 to $8 every 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
So $5 to $8 every 2 days, depends on what we eat. If we go to Caranderia, then it's just gonna be like $5.
Yeah.
Right? But then we eat the leftovers the next day.
Yes,
Yeah.
we can make one calendaria run, stretch it over two meals or 3 meals. You know, and we have the rice at home, so I usually wake up, make rice. Says, thanks, guys. See you at the next live. Can't wait for the humidity. We know. Cold showers. Yes.
So, yeah.
I know.
Okay. All right, sounds
Well,
good.
thank you everyone
Thank you,
for
everyone,
showing
for
up.
showing up.
Hit that
Oh,
likes button.
And you know what? We would like to do lives on the go, right? So kind of like take our cell phones out and kind of like do things on a live because we're doing a lot more stuff now. We're just waiting for our subscriber and our watch hours to go through to like to we
To
need,
where it
need
gives
that,
us that.
that live option
that
like
option.
on our phone. And so once we have that, we're just gonna be just doing all kinds of lives whenever
All
we
the
go on
time.
walks, whenever we're on our trips. But now it's kind of just like we're talking about it as we go. It's different when you're doing a live at the ETC or ECT RFID and you're kind of like catching everything as it's going. That's totally different. Right?
Right.
We would like to get that to you guys because it's more interesting in that manner. So please watch
Our old videos.
get our watch hours up so that way we can do
Yeah,
a live
I
on the go.
recently put out 2 new videos this week. Go check them out, and I'm going to continue to push out more videos later on this week and the next week and the next. So we're trying to get there. So watch our stuff, okay?
All right, guys. Carpe diem.
Seize the day.